Hi everyone, welcome back to Li'l K Artistry. I am Kristen, the artist also known as Li'l K, and this is my little corner of the art world, my little studio in my spare room in my house. And today I, as you can see, have a very large canvas that I'm working on. This is probably one of the biggest ones I've done in a while, definitely the biggest one I've done this year. And I know this is only what, the 19th, the 17th? I can't remember. I don't know what day it is. It's January, mid-January. And as I am recording this, it is currently 12 degrees in central Maine, and I wanted a little shot of summer. So I'm going to do a large flower. This is a 24 by 24 canvas, and I'm going to do a large sunflower on this one. I hope it turns out well. I will be doing some detail work once it's dry. I'll be embellishing the center and possibly putting some texture on the outside edges. I'm not sure yet, but this is the first part. I've been doing a lot of these in a series in a number of different steps because I'm trying out different styles of just applying different embellishments and texture and things like that. So I am kind of playing around and trying new things, which is what I'm all about this year, especially the start of this year. I want to try some new things, just trying to find my groove, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if that's possible, but anyway, so I'm Li'l K, also known as Kristen, and I want to welcome you back. If you are a current subscriber and you're coming back to watch another video, hello again. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm so glad that you're here. I really am. And if you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, welcome. I hope you enjoy the silliness. I hope you enjoy the art. You get some inspiration, have some fun, enjoy a few minutes of relaxing art making time, and maybe some laughs. I don't know. Sometimes I get silly when I paint. Sometimes I tell stories, and I don't know. You never know what's going to happen with me. So I am going to go ahead and get my gloves on. I'm going to call out the colors as I use them. Some of these are custom colors, but I will let you know to the best of my ability how I made them. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll walk you through how I'm going to do it. This is a Dutch style bloom. It is not a true Dutch bloom because I am using a pouring medium and not just water. And the incomparable Menske, who coined the phrase Dutch bloom, she only uses water and paints, and I use water and other things and paints. In my videos way back, I'll put that in the description with regard to what I'm using for my pouring medium. So you can use that too if you'd like, or you can just use water, or you can find a pouring medium that works for you. I like this one. It works for me. So I am going to just continue to use that. And like I said, the information for a lot of the things that I'm using, my spinner, my torch, my hair dryer, all the various different mediums that I use for my art, those will be in the description down below. So take a look out for that. I'm going to drink some of my coffee, and then I will be back and we will get started on this 24-inch sunflower. Back again and ready to start. This is just a lid from one of the jars of paint that I use, and I'm going to use this to mark the center of my bloom. And this will be a sunflower. I don't want it right in the center. I want it a little bit off center just because I think that makes it a little more interesting. So I'm just going to make it kind of down and to the right here a little bit. So this will be the center, and hopefully there we go. Hopefully that will work well. Let's set that pencil off to the side. Okay, so there is the center, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flood the canvas with the base layer, except for that center. In fact, I might actually even just leave that lid on there for a little while, just while I'm doing the center. Okay, this is titanium white. This is my base. It's titanium white, but I warmed it up a tiny bit with a little bit of Van Dyke brown, because I didn't want just a stark white. I wanted it to be a tiny bit warmer. So a little bit of Van Dyke brown in there, just to kind of warm it up a little bit, make it almost like an unbleached titanium, or possibly a Titan buff, close to that, something like that. One thing I have learned doing this style of art, you guys, do not skimp on your base coat. The base coat is really, it's the key to all of it, because if you don't have enough base coat for your other colors to move around on, once you start blowing it out, and I will be using a hairdryer for this one, once you start blowing it out, you won't get the movement that you want. And then once you start spinning, which I'm also going to be doing for this one, when you start spinning it, your composition won't move as easily. So do remember, when you are putting down your base coat, don't skimp on it. Use plenty of base coat. You will be glad that you did. So when I do a custom base coat like this, I always make sure that I mix up more than I need, which is why I have 2 cupfuls here. And then if I have to, I can do a smaller one with the paint that's left over, and that's fine. I just don't want to run out of the base coat before this piece is done. That will really mess it up, because then once I go, if I want to flood around the actual colors, which I likely will once I get the colors for the sunflower laid down, I'll put a little bit more of this base coat around the outside edge just to make it flow a little bit easier when I do the blowout. And if you don't mix enough base coat, when you get ready to blow it out, you won't have enough to flood around your colors, and therefore you're not going to get the blowout. Potentially you won't get the blowout that you're looking for. It'll be a lot harder. And when I start with the hairdryer, I've shown you before, and I'll explain it a little bit too. I like to kind of show it each time, just as a reminder. I feel like repetition is a convincing argument. So if I keep telling you, especially for new people, it's really important to learn the basics. And the technique with the hairdryer, you don't want to push the paint, like push it out that way. You want to get the paint to move, but you don't want to push it. And I'll explain that when we get to the blowout phase. It's hard to tell in words. It's a lot easier to just show you. But there is a trick to it, and I did have to learn. It took me a little while. It's just all about practice. I won't say practice makes perfect, because I don't believe that art is perfect. But I will say that the more practice you get, the more confidence you will have. And confidence is key, right? I'm not going to worry too much about the sides on this one, because I likely will be either covering the sides with like a faux frame, or I'll be using a texture. So I'm not going to worry too much about getting it all down the sides. It might end up going all down the sides as I'm spinning it anyway. I don't know, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Okay. So for the most part, that is my base layer down. I really like how just a tiny bit of the Van Dyke Brown really warmed it up. And I'm just going to spin this a little bit to kind of even it out. Okay, that's pretty even. I did mix this base coat fairly recently, so I have a few more bubbles than usual. That's okay, because this mix is really thin and it's super easy to get the bubbles out. Just torch it. And like I said, there is a link to this torch if you want this small one. It used to be pink. It's still a little pink in there, I think. I've not had any problem with this one. I've had it over a year. very smooth and lovely base coat. I think I'm going to take this off. Perfect. I'm going to start with a little bit. This is Van Dyke Brown. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this Van Dyke Brown right on the edge of that white. Okay. And this is TLP, and this is cinnamon. Oh, come on out now. Cinnamon doesn't want to come out. Hold on. Come on, cinnamon. There we go. Okay, now because this center is going to be darker, and I don't want this to start shrinking, I'm going to put a layer. This is just lamp black. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer these, the lamp black and the brown, because I want the center to be a mixture of brown and black. So just kind of doing rings. Like that. That way the white doesn't start to seep in. That would be bad. Okay, then I'm going to go with, this is a mixture, this is a custom yellow. This is primary yellow and vermilion. So it's a really orangey yellow. You'll see when I start to pour it out there. It's a really orangey yellow, and it's just super pretty. I like vermilion and I like primary yellow, but I also like to mix colors. There we go. This is my custom green. So it's antique, it's a mixture of antique gold, sap green, and oxide black. And I put the antique gold in it so that it has a little bit of a gold shimmer to it. There we go. And then this is a light gold. And I'm going to put that right on top of the green because, like I said, that green already has some gold in it. So that'll look real pretty. Now we come with the purples. This is Cobalt Violet. This is an Amsterdam color. It is gorgeous. And then this is Permanent Violet Dark. Got some bubbles there. Those bubbles are distracting me. Okay. Permanent Violet Dark, another beautiful purple. Alrighty then. And then this is just some of my top layer. Just because I do want a few cells, and I'm just going to run that around that black that I first put in the center. Okay, hopefully this doesn't look like butt, but you know what I say, if it does, at least it will be pretty, but so I'm flooding around the outside edge here with a little more of that base coat, just so that when I get ready to blow it out, it will move. And then when I get ready to spin it, also it will move. I gotta move these, speaking of moving, put these guys back here because this is a big canvas and I don't want it to knock stuff off. I'll pop all the bubbles and then we'll blow it out. Let's see what we've got. Okay, here we go. All right, now this is the other thing that I wanted to share with you is the blowout and the technique. This is loud, so I want to make sure that I tell you this before I actually turn it on. Hold on. A lot of painters you'll see when they use their blower, they do this and they push it out, and that's fine if you want to do that. I feel like it splatters a lot when I do that because this is really thin paint. So I like to put my hairdryer on low and it's almost perpendicular. Instead of blowing it out like that, I'm just gonna move, hopefully. Like I said, it could end up looking like, but I do have a lot of paint on this canvas. Oh, if it messes up, oh well. All right, here we go. Paint, the blow dryer is on low, on cool. Now I've got the Maine petals blown out. I'm gonna go in and see if I can blow out a little bit in the center, in between. Now I'm going to go back through and just tidy up the edges before I start spinning. Okay, so I think that's about got it. What do you guys think? I'm really liking this. The center is looking exactly how I wanted it, because when I go in and I'm going to do some embellishments and some detail work in the center, and I want it to be real dark. I think this looks really lovely. I'm not going to do anything. Typically I would go in and define the petals, but because this is a sunflower and I really like the rippled way they look, I'm not going to do any defining. I'm going to just pop the bubbles and then I'm going to spin it for a bit. I could leave it like this, but there's a little bit more negative space than I want. And I do have a tiny bit here. I just want to make sure that this will go over the edge. We'll spin it just a real quick second here to get the extra off. And then I do want to put a little bit more out here, just because this extra paint out here will pull, and it will help pull the composition off. Okay. Now I'm going to spin a few times, maybe more than a few, I don't know yet. Let's spin and see. I spin slowly at first, just to see what will happen once the composition starts to move. So it looks like the bottom edge is going to go off, and that's fine. Get a few bubbles out here. Pop those. Spin a little more. That's awesome. So now the top edge is starting to move. Love that. And I'm glad that it's a little off center, because I think that makes it look really interesting. And I'm just going to stop this real quick because there's a couple of big bubbles that are distorting. I don't want the composition to be distorted, so. I really like it. What do you guys think? Do you like this? I'm excited the way it's turning out. I'll be excited to hear your comments. See what you guys think of this. Gonna spin it a little bit more, I think, just maybe get a little, gosh, I don't know, I really I really like it the way it is. I don't know if I want it to. Let me spin, I'll spin a little bit more and just see what's gonna happen with it. I do want to leave some of the negative space though, so I don't want it to be totally off the canvas all over. But I want to see if I can get the top off a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm seeing this the way you guys are seeing it. I'm seeing this as the top and that is the bottom. What do you think? Is this turning out like what you thought it would? So I want to reiterate, whatever, tell you again, the mix is a Li'l K pouring medium for the Dutch style bloom, and that cell maker is the top layer that is with abstract cellism. So again, there's no Floetrol in this at all. And what will happen is a lot of times the lacing gets real delicate looking when I mix the abstract cellism top layer and this pouring medium. It's just lovely. I really like it. I think I might what I will probably, I'm going to leave it while it's wet. Right now I'm going to leave it, but I think what I will likely do when it's dry is I will come around the edges with that real dark purple just to define the edges a little bit more. The ones that are showing anyway, obviously not those. And then I will definitely be doing some embellishments in the center. What do you guys think? I love it. This color combination has been my go-to for years. I just love it. The shimmer that's in the TLP cinnamon, the shimmer that's in that light gold, and the shimmer that's in the antique gold that's in my custom green really makes it just, the shine is just so beautiful. So, so pretty. I'm resisting spinning it more because I'm trying to keep the negative space, but I really want to spin it some more. I'm going to come around there and I'm taking my gloves off. I'm going to come around there and kind of zoom in a little bit so that you can see a little bit more of the close-up. And I don't know if I can get any of the shimmer on there, if you'll be able to see it or not, but let me bring it in closer so you can see a close-up. Here we go, zooming in. I apologize, I didn't turn the lights off on my little cherry blossom tree on my shelf there, so I apologize. There's a little bit of a shine on it, but what do you think? Isn't that just just a hint of the yellow, that yellow that's mixed with the vermilion and all those beautiful cells on the petals. And I'm glad I left the negative space at the top. I really like that's going to look really nice with the embellishment that I will be doing. And then I think also it'll look really good when I define those upper petals a little bit with that dark purple. I am eager to hear what you all think of this piece. I'm loving it. I really, really love it. It's coming, it's exactly as I pictured it, and I can't wait to define the petals and then add the embellishments, a little bit of texture in the middle, and just really make it pop off the canvas. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching again. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Please subscribe so you can see more of this art. I'm all over the place. I do all kinds of things. I don't stick to one style. That's just who I am. I like trying new things, and then I always come back to the tried and true, this Dutch style pour. I just love it. The abstract cellism, I just love that too. The cloud pours, I love those too. So much to love in fluid art, there really is. So thank you again. I really appreciate you for being here. And drop a comment. Let me know from where in the world you're watching and what you think of this piece. Hope you had fun. Hope you got inspired. This is Li'l K. Once again, I'm reminding you and encouraging you, go make the art. You'll be glad you did. Well, my sunflower is all dry now, and what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of detailing around the edge of the petals, and I'll maybe clean up the background a little bit too. And then I'm going to add some texture and make the center part a little bit more interesting too.